Welcome to the AI for Sales podcast, hosted by best-selling author, keynote speaker, and sales innovator, Chad Burmeister. This is where the future of selling comes alive, exploring how AI transforms customer experiences, drives sales outcomes, and reshapes the way we connect, compete, and close business. You'll hear from sales, marketing, and technology leaders on the front lines of AI for sales, sharing strategies, successes, and the skills you'll need to thrive in an AI-powered world. As Dr. Joel LeBon, marketing and sales professor at the Johns Hopkins University Carey School of Business, said best in Chad's book, AI for Sales, How Artificial Intelligence is Changing Sales. In sales, time kills deals. In AI for Sales, AI kills time. Thanks to our sponsors, BDR.ai, Nooks.ai, and ZoomInfo, the go-to market intelligence platform that accelerates revenue growth. Want an introduction to one of our sponsors? Go now to www.str.ai/intro, and Chad will personally connect you with the right person at any of these companies, the one who can make a difference for your business. And remember, in traditional sales, time kills deals. But in AI for sales, AI kills time. Get ready to learn, level up, and lead the AI revolution in sales. This is the AI for Sales podcast. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to another AI for Sales podcast. I am Chad Burmeister, your co-host, and I'm back with Bryan Weinman, your co-host. Bryan, say hello.
Hello. Happy to be here.
We are back again, right off round one with Bryan, and we are here with a guest from Houston, hot Houston, and our guest Mandar is a technical and growth strategist who works at the intersection of IT, AI, and life sciences, and we're really excited to have him because we're going to be able to go deep, and that's why I'm glad we have Bryan today because he can take us there. So. Mandar, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Appreciated. Happy to be here.
Tell us what's the name of your company and maybe give us a little 30-second overview of what are you up to?
Quick introduction. So there are companies. One is the actual company that develops the products. Other one is the more of a consulting side. So one is Sightingale, other one is Cogniclue, but it's just me developing things. So basically my background is a little bit weird. This happens in India that if your older brother goes to engineering, you get pushed into medicine, although your brain thinks engineering wise. So that's me. That's how my healthcare exposure is. But I have never stopped programming, never stopped developing things. So this is why my path will be something like, okay, healthcare, finished MD, then I need to turn my tub towards more of a numbers game programming side. So basically went into genetics, public health, epidemiology, biostatistics, started feeling comfortable. Okay, it's just like PhD in epidemiology. That gives me that background. And then it's just like, okay, genomics. That is giving me a hell lot of exposure to program while being a student. So basically, okay, I'm feeling comfortable. And now I moved into AI, like machine learning AI, somewhere around 2017 onward, that this is ultimately the tide is coming in. You better be prepared for it. So basically, and not the easiest, but the best way of being an expert at something is doing two things. Number one, start doing it yourself and start trying to teach someone else. When you teach someone else, you have to absolutely feel ashamed of not knowing something. So you go back and prepare and re-prepare yourself. So that's how I ended up being who I am, a hyper-technical person, but at the same time, I know how to talk with the engineering groups, the CXO groups who are going to make a business decision, because nothing that I'm ever going to say is going to be specifically purely for technical teams. Yes, I can talk with them in their terms when the time comes, but I need to be able to talk with and get people to actually move the needle. Needle moves at a higher level. So you should be able to do that too.
Love it. Wow. That's kind of speaking to Bryan's journey here for sure as well. I mean, he loves teaching people, and I'm sure even after hundreds of onboarding classes, when he tells people, hey, what's the number one word in your subject line? And he says referral. I'm sure he goes back home and looks at his emails and goes, man, I forgot referral's the word that I should be using in my emails. So, yeah.
People often know what to do. They don't do what they know. And
Yeah.
you absolutely nailed it, Mandar, with teaching other people to codify, and by way of building out GPTs or whatever LLM you prefer. Um, boy, you're humbled in the amount of, it makes sense to me. Why can't you replicate this? I'm putting it as plainly as I can for you to do this, and your results are so far away, it may as well be on the moon. You need to humble yourself, and maybe I'm not explaining it correctly.
Eh,
So it does very much.
Absolutely. That explanation part is everything.
So I met with a legal expert in the last podcast before the one Brian and I just recently did, and asked this question, and that is, how has AI transformed the customer experience in your industry? So as you're working with folks in your industry, her answer was that when it comes to legal, when people call in and they're asking about, hey, I want to be a customer in the legal world, they're not talking to a robot usually. They thought that might be the case. They're talking to a human, and it's augmented AI, right? That the human uses the AI to type in the questions, and it's augmentation. And how's it transforming your space in your industry?
So it's a little bit funny. In healthcare, there are two kinds of quote unquote customers, or rather, three kinds of customers. One is actual patients.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, you are serving, the whole industry is supposed to quote unquote serve that segment. Second is subject matter experts who are entrenched in the behavior that they have been for a longest amount of time. This is true for legal tech too, because I have done some of the solutions for legal tech, and lawyers, attorneys, etc., although no matter how much pragmatic and practical they are, ultimately they are set in their ways. Their workflows are their bespoke workflows, and they
Mm-hmm.
do not want to deviate from those. Same with the healthcare system, hospital systems, etc. And the third is the administrative staff. Just due to the workload, administrative staff in healthcare, the back office administration where AI can be used without getting into regulatory hurdles, etc., the most, just to speed up things, these people don't have the bandwidth to think about anything new because they're already overwhelmed. So, in these three customers, if you start talking with them, their perception about AI is not because what AI can do, but it is changing my thing that I'm used to doing. So, AI itself is not a problem, it's the process, the bespoke process, and not having their house in order to start thinking about AI as a new solution.
Mm-hmm.
Replace AI with ABC doesn't matter. A new solution coming in is the problem for them. On top of that, AI has a little bit of unfamiliarity of a new solution that I'll just label what I have spoken until now under the label of unfamiliarity, a new something coming in and being implemented. The AI, there is a fear factor too, that AI can do a lot of things, but can I trust it? Unfamiliarity is different than trust building exercise, and trust
Wow.
has no other option than to do it over and over and over and over until it clicks to them. It's just like, this is not that bad, I can actually use it. And this is beyond sales practically, because sales happen upfront and then they start using something and then they get used to it and then they build trust with it. But if we can somehow create that sales structure such that it allows customer to build that trust while utilizing it, and then be comfortable and then shell out the actual dollars for it, like that's where that value is going to come from, while keeping them comfortable. And going back to my original argument that there are three types of customers: the patients, the when you are dealing with any human, there is a fine line between trying to increase the efficiency and feeling like you are pushing your agenda on them. AI, a real good implementation of AI, a chatbot, a voice bot that is supposed to be navigating patients to the right people, to the right specialists, to the right facilities, to the right prescription that is going to be maybe over the counter, that is not going to cost them arm and a leg. All of these chatbots, the intention is really great, but if the chatbot implementation is not human sounding, not trustworthy, it's not going to sell, it's not going to feel. And the moment it starts clicking as pushy, because there is so much of profit motive in healthcare industry,
Yes.
people are going to think that your chatbot is not for me, your chatbot is to pad your bottom line, which is half of the times it is true.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to subject matter experts like physicians thinking about a new solution, like lawyers, like attorneys, hard-headed people set in their workflows, they do not want to trust something or someone, because ultimately their signing name, the liability is theirs if something happens to the patient.
Yeah.
So they are thinking from other point of view. So back office is the easiest place if we can give people some breathing room to insert AI and start unraveling this quagmire of just being a tightly wound ball of issues with people, because ultimately we are dealing with people. We are not dealing with a computer program where you can just insert some additional memories, free up some swap space, and start doing things in a different way, sort a heap different way, and that way you are much more easy. You're dealing with humans. AI is a pretty tricky knife in that particular sector. So being careful, for different people there are different ways of communicating it and conveying them that I'm here for you. My AI is not just padding my bottom line, although it is also doing that, is really important early in any technology uh, being by adopted by the end user.
Wow. Brian, it just so happens you had been doing some of your AI messaging around payer, insurer, provider. And it seems to me a lot of what he was just talking about, those three different types of customers in healthcare line up. What he was just sharing with you, did some of the messaging that you talked about, that your AI generator coupled with your mindset, did it happen to tap into any of what he just shared, or you know what I'm saying, did it get
I
that
don't
far?
even think it's. I think we're not. It's not even in the ballpark. We're not even playing the same sport. It's you, Mandar. I mean, I've just you nailed it all. And actually addressed some of my concerns with design bias being focused on padding the bottom line of a particular healthcare insurer, or perhaps a provider not being familiar with some of the new, perhaps intermittent fasting that some people subscribe to, and then some, depending on what study you read, suggests that that's a fabulous way to go to beat cancers. My own doctor does not know. The guy's my age. He's brilliant. I love him. He's unfamiliar with that whole scope of dieting and perhaps cancer avoidance down the road. So you're right. I mean, how do you boy, it's an amazing field that you're in. Now, how does it relate to what I'm doing? Mandar, what he's saying is we've tasked our GPT with writing very specific messaging based on what we can discern from a person's job title or perhaps a LinkedIn search as to what their struggle is, and the ability to say, okay, well, if that's your struggle, then we have new methods, new technology, new tools that are available to you that would relieve a lot of your stress in doing your job. We're using that in healthcare, and I don't have enough data right now to support it, but what I'm actually seeing, what my gut's telling me, is that it actually might be not working. And that might be a surprise to you, Chad, but the more you try to nail a person's struggle, if you don't nail it and you get it wrong, even just slightly, they're gonna be like, nah, you don't know my world. You know what I'm dealing with. So there might be, when we designed this product, we started with some fairly nebulous. Hey, we've got new methods, new technologies that will solve for larger scope issues than what you're dealing with. And we said, well, maybe the GPT could help us design these and really pinpoint what you're dealing with. That I think we might be actually
Well, that
rubber band.
goes back to what Chris Beal from Connecting Cells always said, which is primary research is always better than secondary, because why guess when you can actually talk? And if we talked to Mandar and he said, well, actually, the problem is you need to first get the customer. Here's what's actually going on in my world is that I want to actually listen to the customer and the patient, and we need to form trust with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so and that's where having a phone conversation in 3 minutes is better than just guessing. So that's maybe why the phone's coming back as an example. So
Could be.
Oh,
this is
by the
all
way, and
really fun talk.
there is a sorry to talk over, but there is a funny part to it that customer might have, like, let's say you did a focus group with 8 different customers from 8 different sectors, companies, etc., and you came up with the list of the things that, oh, these are the struggle points. Now you went back to any of the MBAs in your company, and it's just like, okay, what is the financial value of each of these points, so that which solution should we target? You lost the game. You lost the game, literally. As a background research, which pain point is going to be translated into what dollar value for your company? Yes, that is important, but you never start your solution with any of those. You just ask, one is just like, okay, out of you 8, which is the least uh barrier to entry for you to just try it out what we are building, because we just want to solve one minute tiny thing for you right now. Let's start there. Money is not an issue. For first 3 years, we are not even going to bother asking you that. Let's start with this exercise. Get your foot in. That's how AI sales are going to work these days. People are just like, oh, here is a healthcare related issue that we are not identifying enough these programs like MIPS or etc., like value based care, where reimbursements, etc., like what patient codes are there based on their patient charts, etc., those are things happening. We can find those and just like, okay, but that is never a problem. Your problem in healthcare industry is not being able to access the EHR and being able to audit the right way.
Every quarter, your pipeline goals go up. But when SDR teams are bogged down by prospecting, dialing, and coaching busy work, they struggle to hit their goals. That's where Nooks comes in. Nooks helps you double and even triple the pipeline you generate. Nooks is the AI sales assistant platform that automates account research, list building, and getting more great prospect conversations, so you can focus on the human side of selling. Companies like Seismic, Modern Health, and Greenhouse use Nooks to radically increase outbound pipeline. See how you can build more pipeline today by visiting nooks.ai.
Epic system has locked it down to oblivion. They are not going to let you into that system to even see that, to attach your SaaS or any product that you're developing. If you want to be part of their system, it is going to take you 3 years anyway. So you need to come up with a completely different way that is independent of their dependency, still be able to solve that problem for that practice of 8 physicians coming together, the smaller practice, which still has an obligation to do all of this work that puts an administrative burden on them. That's where the value starts coming in. That's where you prove the point and let them guide what they want to work on first, rather than what you think is the easiest problem to solve or the biggest dollar value problem to solve.
You just developed let me back up. You just turned the ICP, the go-to ICP definition card and R&D that's been used for 30 years on its head with that right there.
It's a new technology. You're dealing with people, you're not dealing with computers. If it was computers, it would have been so much easier to just show that max in bracket dollar amount and or the difficulty, put a graph where they intersect. That is the point where you're going to hit. As easy as that. You're just not taking the human factor in in the thing, and ultimately somebody is going to sign that paper that is going to make that sale happen. That person is also a human, no matter whether CXO level, no matter where AI engineering level, no matter whether base engineer or end user. Somebody is shelling out money for that. They need to feel comfortable.
That's an interesting concept, because the one of the questions we asked in the previous podcast was, what are the, and you're probably about to ask it, Chad, what are the misconceptions about AI that you encounter? And there's one Mandar just gave us, which is, at the end of the day, salespeople, field sellers, and even prospectors shouldn't feel threatened by AI, because there's still a human signing a check. And especially if that's a 5-figure check or a 6-figure check, or a 7-figure check, that's a human being that has fundamental risk, and they want a lot of CYA done before they sign that. And there's no world in which we will be selling software products, even the small ones, to with AI to AI. That not yet. You and all three of us will probably be retired before we get there. But at the end of the day, the person who signs the check is a human being.
It's difficult. Means, frankly, I shouldn't say it's difficult. It's different. It's just unfamiliarity factor. Let's not give it a gigantic big name that is going to make us all feel like this is the non-conquerable problem. But at the same time, if you're unfamiliar, you're not going to be comfortable. People need to be comfortable to do anything and be out of their uh, current situation that they are already used to. Like, any change has a risk of falling flat on your face. Like, if you don't move, you're not going to fall. Everyone is resistant to that, and basically that's the problem. People take time. If you leave a cat in a room that they're unfamiliar in, they sniff every single portion of that room, and every step they're just like making sure that, constantly checking. Customers are like cats. End users are like cats. Unless they're used to it, once they get familiar with, they can navigate in the darkness because they're used to it. They can trust even when they know that there are spikes and there are access and there are toolboxes, electric open wires in that particular garage. They know. They know how to navigate it. Even though it is risky current situation, the perception of the risk is much lower once you know, you're familiar with the risk. In AI, people are not familiar with the risk. You just got to meet where they are and where they're most comfortable with. Dollar value ultimately is not going to matter. The economics of AI are going to change drastically, just the way the technology has changed, just the way implementation has changed. Yes, it is going to be definitely decreasing the total price tag, because the humans required to do the same job, unfortunately, is going to be lower and lower and lower. That is going to have its own ripple effects. I'm not going to talk about that. From my point of view, all we are humans, we should care about each other. But forgetting that point, the rest of the part is still, it's going to be profitable. Even if you can displace one person, it ends up being $250,000 for a big company. So dollar value is not a problem. Think about just the problem, what you're solving, and how you're selling it. Look for that a little bit longer fuse, not 6 months timeline to 2 years timeline. Don't worry about the technology, its cost and its development cost. That's a R&D function that wheel just keeps on spinning and keeps on adjusting to the newer and newer thing.
So while we're on the drastic word that you just used, I believe that as well. Let's just between the three of us and any of our listeners, which could be 1,000 people on this show. If you had $10,000 to invest and could leave it alone for 10 years, is there a maybe two or three, like what maybe big companies or small companies, who do you think gets it in the world of AI? Is it like an AWS? Is it a Salesforce? Is it a Oracle? Like, who do you think is seeing the right visions around the deployment of AI that we should park $10,000 in right now?
So you're more thinking in terms of the stock value, like the
Agreed.
valuation of companies.
I
Now that's where we
at
are
this
going
moment,
at.
yeah.
There are way too many factors connected to it.
Agreed.
So
I am
speculation on that.
yeah, anything I
The,
say. Yeah.
if you're daring and if you can think, I would say that actually investing those $10,000 in getting some overseas engineers, learning yourself how to program, and trying to solve a business solution, that's one bet
That's what I would
that
do.
has got a 100x, 10,000x range of
Thousand
returns.
X. Yeah.
And you will learn something for sure at the end of 10,000 and that year spending.
That's
So it's
really
never
well.
getting wasted. Either you learn or you 100x it. Yeah, there is no downside from my point of view.
All right.
Best answer of the
I
entire
would have said the same
far.
thing.
And that's what Brian's doing right
Yeah.
now. So
It is, and I would have retracted that as well and said the same thing. At $10,000, I would spend it on Jesse Dietrich from PwC, and I would buy him out for a week, who builds AI solutions, business solutions for companies, and some of them are private, some of them are government. And I would say, teach me everything you know for the next 40 hours, $10,000. Here you go.
Yep.
That's what I would.
okay, one of my favorite questions, and then Brian, start thinking of your next question because we're going to just go off script. But one of my favorite questions, Mandar, is ethical considerations around AI because some people say it's the government's responsibility, and sure, just like anything, the government's responsibility, yes, and certainly in this area, over the long haul, I think, just like GDPR and certain things, like yes, there should be some oversight. Um, whose responsibility and how do we get our arms around who should be looking over AI to make sure it doesn't go rogue?
Once again, okay,
Mhm.
how much matured language is allowed? TV13, TVMA, R?
This,
Because
whatever you want to say, it
no,
goes.
because literally this is the problem, not with AI. This is the problem with humans.
Humans.
Mm,
If your motivation is to maximize at the cost of anyone else, then you are going to make the same goddamn mistake every single time and
Mhm.
screw someone over.
mm, mm,
Your AI scientists on the ground, they already know that, okay, I built this machine learning and AI model that works for this particular group really well. The other group doesn't, it doesn't work. I have proven this point, but I haven't proven that point yet, because these are nerds on the ground. I am one of those nerds. Once I see a model, once I'm developing a model, I know the performance in different groups, because that is just ultimately a statistical table for me to develop and know that, is there a problem with this system? Talking with someone, use like understanding that there is a problem, accepting that there is a problem, talking with someone who can actually translate it into what does it mean in real life, because a nerd may know that there is a numbers problem. How does
Mhm.
that translate into real life? That is a different story. You need to go in real life and have that cross expert collaboration kind of thing. And once you know that this is going to affect someone n- in a way that cannot be ignored, you have to go back and change it.
mhm,
This is not an AI issue. Ethics have never been, morality has never been an AI issue. If you have a bone and a heart, like moral bone in your body and a heart that is not just chasing after money, AI ethics is not a problem. People get to talk about it because that is the easiest way to talk about it, because it requires the least amount of understanding of what AI does. You can do a shitload of fear mongering around
Uh-huh.
morals and ethics, etc. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. If you don't know what is happening on the ground, you don't get to say anything about it. Please
yeah,
go back and read that
yeah,
book,
yeah, yeah.
understand
You
it,
could
and give
rewrote
the
Congress
solution. Don't
into
just tell the problem, give the solution. How can we solve it? That's
right.
how we are going to move ahead. Otherwise, you are just my roadblock. Nobody is going to take you seriously, or you're always going to be my enemy because I'm trying to deliver something.
Yeah. I think me, you, and Brian sit on the same
We
side
do.
of the table on this on this question.
Well, and
Means
if you
I'm
have
on the
a
regulatory side, by the way. Means I'm working on like FDA's advisory committees, and basically writing translating FDA's guidance into something practical is really important
Right.
for drug development and medical device industry. I'm currently creating a whole coursework with, like, currently I'm sitting on 190 pages of it, but literally that goes through every regulation. What does it mean in real life, and give a code example, like situation, and then code example of what does it mean when you are supposed to submit or prove the point like this.
Yes.
Because there is no single person, unfortunately, who knows in a company. A
Right.
product manager, technical product manager, and a regulatory affairs individual, both are supposed to sit together and know this, like put two of them together and become a whole person, and then guide the rest of the teams. But it's regulatory affairs person pretty much never reads anything technical, and technical product manager never reads anything regulatory unless
Exactly.
regulatory speaks about
Right.
something. And now we have got a problem. They're always going to be at odds with each other.
Mhm.
Yeah. Brian, you see these shows are fun. You're going to have a good time with these.
This is
I
my
like Mondar. When are we going
first
to Houston?
Mandar, and I'm about to. I was going to hold till the end when we weren't recording to ask this. Chad, are all the guests like Mandar?
Exactly. Okay, what's
Good.
your final question for Mondar? You can
I
make
don't. I
yeah.
don't have one. There's so many that I think not only are we on the same side of the fence. There's just so many fairly in the weeds questions I have that it would take a Rogan style 3 hour chat to unpack it all. And I don't want to. We don't want to do that. I'd rather just ask what's next for you, Mandar. Like, what do you? Give me 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Like, where do you picture being? And I'm leaving
For
it nebulous for a reason.
for me or for the industry?
I'd say I'll leave it to you.
Okay. I'll cover them really quickly. Both. For me, I have been on a break because I just had to get my head cleared. I didn't get enough time to understand, read, and start programming again because I was losing touch. So since March, I decided, okay, my own consulting, but I'm going to spend most of the time actually doing the things that I'm preaching because I'm losing touch. Never want to do that. So that 3 month time has already passed. I'm currently in the 6 month line where there are 4 different products that are supposed to hit the market. Most of them are on the regulatory side, like compiling the evidence from different parts of the regulatory system in healthcare and allowing all of the experts to interact with them in a way that I don't want to just give them a chatbot answer. No, I don't want to just give them a reference. It's just like click on it and figure it out. No, they should be able to see it directly. What does that mean? That is a manifestation. And then the library maintenance is the main part. There is systematic literature review, etc. There are solutions around it. It all started over there, but I branched out into 4 different products because it got too big for its own bridges.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In the next year or so, I am thinking of actually continuing my this consulting journey or product development journey, but not from US. I want to see what happens on the eastern side of the globe. So
Wow.
I'm thinking of moving to one of those East Asian countries where I can see, like, from Singapore to India, like that whole spectrum of different regulatory systems. I want to get experience with them. So basically, I'm just going to stay over there for next 2-3 years and keep on working. Like, my companies are never going to go away from America. It's still going to be like that. But I just want to do that. As far as the industry goes, industry is extremely sluggish. It's not going
Yep.
to change much.
All right.
Hospital systems, not going to change much. United Health tried to do something funky secretly. They got their hand slapped for it. Uh, yeah, means if you're going to reject claims just because you want to maximize your bottom line, once again, going back to morality, ethics, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
it is going to come out and it is going to be in the courts. You're going to get fined for that. I'm looking forward to this New York Times and Wall Street Journal. Wall Street
Mm-hmm.
Journal? The
It's
lawsuit that is going on, OpenAI, and it's like keep all the logs, etc. How that is going to affect industry utilization, because there are huge conflicts in IP law when it comes to this. And
mm-hmm.
third one is that I'm hoping that the tide of the understanding and the knowledge across, like, over year and a half from now, that the baseline knowledge and comfort level of people and understanding even of the security factors around how to use AI the best way for themselves. So this is coming from a person who lives with a person, my wife. She hates ChatGPT so much that she is just like, I'm not using that ever. Like, period. End of story. Don't talk to me about ChatGPT. And just like, okay, I'll not talk about it. But there are people in that category too. Until people start feeling actual value and the solutions are such that there is enough innovation in the industry that there is always going to be a better and better and better solution out there, like second layer solution, third layer solutions. Hopefully some of these solutions are going to be trustworthy, that people actually start using it and they become their daily best friends in a way that people start saving 5-6 hours a day on doing some stupid things.
Right.
I see Google has been moving in that side. Microsoft, I don't have words for them why their implementations always suck. It's a mystery to me when you have got 10,000, 20,000 engineers force. But Google Gemini integration into Gmail and creating tasks right there, looking at your email and asking is just like, can you just create a meeting for this on Wednesday 9:45, and just letting it do it in itself is going to save me a few minutes each time.
Right.
And especially if you're just like, yeah, send my mom hi or happy birthday, and my message is actually in this draft of the email, connecting the dots between different systems. That's where, like, Android phone being able to do that. Apple Siri, it got delayed, so I'm 2027, I'm hoping that Apple is going to do something innovative. But don't have much hopes over there. And
which
in
is
healthcare,
sad.
yeah.
Wow, we've had an amazing conversation. Been talking to Mandar, and on our first co-hosted episode with Bryan Weinman. Mandar, thanks for being the, as you self-prescribed, guinea pig for the show. So thank you so much.
So much.
We've certainly enjoyed it. I think we uncovered something very big today that was exposed. If you didn't catch it, I will restate it right here. And that is, let's stop optimizing for profit motives and let's start focusing on the human experience with ChatGPT. Funny enough, I had a conversation with a rep on the team yesterday, and I said the exact same thing. I said, look, if you just focus on doing the right thing for people, isn't it amazing how good things come around? Do the right thing for people, and then profit follows. And that was Fred Smith's thing at FedEx that he told me 30 years ago in the new hire class. People, service, profit. And it's not a new thing, but it's certainly something that we all forgot over the years. Let's get back to it. Let's program in GPT. People, service, profit. Mandar, so amazing to have you here. I wish you peace as you move to the east. And I thank you for being here.
Stay in touch. Nice to talk to you both.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for joining another AI for Sales podcast.
Thanks for listening to the AI for Sales podcast with host Chad Burmeister. This episode was brought to you by BDR.ai, Nooks.ai, and ZoomInfo, the go-to-market intelligence platform. BDR.ai helps sales teams accelerate outreach and book more meetings automatically, using AI to personalize messaging across LinkedIn, email, and beyond. Nooks.ai is the AI-powered sales assistant platform that automates account research, list building, and connects reps to more high-quality conversations, helping teams double or even triple their outbound pipeline. And ZoomInfo gives your revenue teams the data and insights they need to find, engage, and win their best customers, helping you move faster, work smarter, and grow revenue at scale. If your company is serious about driving better outcomes with AI for sales, here's the fast track. Forget the endless website clicks and forms. Go straight to the decision makers at these companies, the ones who can move the needle for your business. Chad will personally connect you with the right leaders at our sponsors, the people who can actually make a difference in your business. Head to www.sdr.ai/intro and unlock your direct line to a more closable pipeline, powered by AI. Until next time, keep leading the AI for Sales revolution, and remember, In sales, time kills deals. But in AI for sales, AI kills time.